Welcome back to 5 Minutes with Philly FileMaker. We're at phillyfilemaker.org. My name is Jason Mundock, and we're in San Diego, California for the beginning of DevCon 2010. Great to be back in California. Great to be back in DevCon. Joining me is Mike Lee from Proof Group. And Mike spoke at the 2008 DevCon and is back this year with two sessions. A session and then a workshop, but both on the same topic. So what are you bringing to DevCon this year? Tell me about the session.
The session is called SQL to the Rescue.
Okay.
The full name goes on and says an introduction to SQL in FileMaker, using SQL in FileMaker itself. And most people are using SQL either as FileMaker as a client connecting into an SQL server with a ODBC driver, or they're using an external app like Excel or some other Drupal or whatever to hit FileMaker as a host. I'm literally using it within FileMaker, so I'm relying on third-party plugins, but basically executing SQL within FileMaker to pull out data within FileMaker, FileMaker tables and table occurrences.
So what are some of the plugins that you use?
The latest one with the latest update, and the one that I've been using lately, is the Query by CNS.
Okay.
There's also Do SQL. There's Two for You. The combo plugin does it. The Smart Pill has it. 360 works. Scriptmaster Advanced does it.
Wow. Dude, you got a lot of choice.
The Monkey Bread one probably does it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of choice. They changed the internal components of the SQL with V11.
Okay.
So there's a little bit of compatibility issues, and the Query is the only one that's been revved so far. So that's the one I'm using. But the benefit of using SQL in FileMaker this way, if you think about the graph, you interact with the data via the graph.
Right.
SQL allows you to not worry about the graph, because you're writing your queries, you're writing your selects and joins directly into SQL. And if you've got SQL experience, you're going to leverage that in FileMaker.
Right.
If you don't have SQL experience, you can learn the little bits you need to really bring some power to FileMaker. And here's what I'll say, is that you no longer have to build out a graph just to get to that piece of data on the very end. So if you're architecting your systems, we've got some data modeling sessions this DevCon.
Sure.
If you're data modeling appropriately, where you can do multiple addresses per person, multiple phone numbers, multiple relationships, multiple roles, you've got this full fleshed out CRM within your application. Now it becomes a little bit harder to pull in who's that person's spouse, right? Because now you've got to jump through some tables to get across that, rather than just some spouse fields within your person table, right? So SQL, you just write the query and you get that piece of data and you can use it. The other way to use it is filtering portals, or portal searches.
Sure.
So you use an SQL snippet to drive a key, an ID selection, and then you use those IDs to display records in the portal. And then what I'm not doing, but people have done, is used SQL for record creation, record updates, record deletes. So if you're in an API situation, you no longer have to go to the layout, create a record, return. You just call SQL insert and you're done.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So basically, SQL is context insensitive.
And that's one of the biggest things for people who get into FileMaker. It's one of the hardest things to wrap your head around at first. So if you're coming from
yes,
if you're coming from a SQL background, then you can really.
In FileMaker, context really matters.
Yeah, absolutely.
And with SQL, it becomes to matter less. Now you still have to have the table occurrence, because you don't directly connect to the tables. Nothing in FileMaker does that. It's just through the table occurrence. But now you're talking about building out dashboard interfaces or application files, and you've got a graph built out that drives your direct card views. Now you need a dashboard. Well, instead of replicating that entire graph to drive your dashboard, you just build out some SQL and drive it that way. So there's a session and a workshop. It's a lot of stuff to cover.
Sure.
I'm starting very basic. So I'm basically, if you know SQL exists but not much else, that's where I'm starting.
That's the session.
That's the session. Goes from there through the bare bones of reporting, which means summarizing information, pulling in aggregate stuff like counts, and then the workshop follows on with a full-out reporting module. Wow. So the reporting module is essentially SQL-based reports in FileMaker with cross-tabbing,
Well, how did you? I mean, what inspired these sessions? Like, how did you?
Yeah,
Is this something you just dreamed up? Like, oh, you know, it would be kind of cool to do this. Let me do some tests and propose it, or is this real life?
This is real life. This is the way. I can't take sole credit for this. Ernest Coe, also at Proof, was the inspiration for this. He's been the one pushing this for the last, I think, couple years at the company, and really it has come out of my real world experience working with clients and custom development over the last year. And I titled the session SQL to the Rescue because literally that's what I've said to people within the company and to the clients. I'll say either it's difficult, time consuming,
right,
or impossible, but SQL to the rescue, man. And you just build the query and you're done. Now you raise the bar a little bit, right? It's not just FileMaker, it's not just layouts, but for a person who has the aspirations to be a mid to high level programmer, this is something they really need to know.
It sounds great. It sounds like, and it's different from what you typically see. I mean, this is an exciting, sort of complement to the usual sessions at DevCon. What's going on with Proof? Anything new?
Funny you ask. Well, actually, we're doing quite well. We're busy. We've got some clients slotting in. They're pretty exciting.
It's good to hear.
We've got products in queue that we're about to launch. I can't speak too much about that. I'm not the pitch man.
Got it.
But no, it's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
So we're happy to be coming into the new, the fall.
Right.
Summer's our busy period, so it's.
Well, hopefully I'll get a chance to talk to Ernest as well.
Absolutely.
About other things that are going on. But thanks so much for being here and doing this.
You're
I
welcome.
Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Jason.
So here we're back at DevCon. Look for more videos coming soon. And check us, of course, at phillyfilemaker.org. I'm Jason Mundock.